Hello, my friends, it's Johnaroth, and today we're playing with another Tarkir Dragonstorm commander. This one is Kotis, the Fangkeeper. Kotis is a 4-mana, 2/1 indestructible creature who costs 1, a swamp, a forest, and an island. And since he's indestructible, he is very hard to kill. His special ability is whenever Kotis deals combat damage to a player, exile the top X cards of their library, where X is the amount of damage dealt. You may cast any number of spells with mana value X or less from among them without paying their mana costs. So whenever Kotis hits your opponent, depending on what his power is, you're going to take that many cards off the top of the library and then you cast them for free. So this is a very strong commander who is very difficult to kill. So looking at the stats of 2/1, I know people are like, meh, for that much mana. But he's very hard to kill, and when you get to hit your opponent, you're going to be casting a lot of spells off of their deck. There are several different ways you could build Kotis. I have seen people build it in a mutation build where they're casting mutations onto Kotis, making him bigger and stronger. Another way you could do it is an enchantment build where most of your deck is enchantments. You're buffing him up. You're also getting enchantment benefits. Maybe you have other cards in there like Citizen Champion, etc., getting benefits from lots of different enchantments. I took a different approach, and this build that I have is actually my third iteration because I tried both of those other builds, and I found both of those builds to be a little bit weak because of the fact that you are doing what's called a Voltron deck, where basically you are dependent on your commander to win you the game. So when I was building him like a mutation build and all those types of things, and your opponent, if they wipe out Kotis or if they counter Kotis or any those types of things, your deck struggles to win any games at all. There's lots of great exile and sacrifice effects that just basically means that Kotis never gets to do anything. So my deck is built more around a control build. There are lots of counter spells in it: wash away, spell pierce, negate, counter spell, mana drain, etc. But I also have a support structure in there to make sure that you can keep the game going even if you're not winning with Kotis by himself. So there's a lot of planeswalkers in this deck: Liliana of the Veil, Jace, Sorin, Ashiok, to help you with those types of things. There's a lot of big powerful effects in this deck: Casualties of War, Primeval Titan, Game More Lands, etc. I also threw in a lot of board wipes into this deck. Now remember, Kotis is indestructible, so board wipes don't kill him. There's a number of games where I just would cast board wipes and basically Kotis is the only creature still standing on the battlefield. I stayed away from anything that would remove counters though, or put him into negative, because that would kill him. For example, Languish, Meat Hook Massacre, those types of cards. I did still include Toxic Deluge, but you can control that spell, and when you want to use it, you can adjust how much you want to take off. So this build is around. This deck is built around building up Kotis in a different way than some of the other builds, and I did see a much higher win rate with this build than those other two. So let's take this indestructible zombie warrior into the queue and see if we can use our opponent's decks against them. Let's go. Okay, our very first opponent is conceding. How's that for 100% win rate? Good game. Our second game is against Sauron the Dark Lord. Our hand has a little bit of lands, some control elements to it. I do like the Cyclonic Rift. I'm going to keep this. Though we are going to need to get a Surveil land to try to get a third land. It's the one concern I have. Put down a land. They have a Surveil land as well. And they concede. Guys, we're too strong. We're too tough for our opponents. We have a 100% win rate because every one of our opponents scoops. Good game. Okay, for our third game, let's see if we can actually fight an opponent. We're playing against Dina Soul Steeper. Our hand does have 3 sources of mana, got some removal, ramp. This is pretty good, so I'm going to keep this. We're going to put down a land and pass. Dina is kind of a combo commander. For a black and a green, she's a 1/3, and whenever you gain life, each opponent loses life. So they have a lot of cards where they can get into a cycle where if we lose life, they gain life, and if they gain life, we lose life. And if we get stuck in one of those, then it's an infinite cycle, and then we lose. So I'm assuming this is one of those types of decks. I'm going to put down a swamp and get out our ramp creature, the Bloom Tender. Looks like he's going for his commander. Going to put down an island and summon Kotis, the Fangkeeper. It's always dangerous to leave Dina Soul Steeper on the battlefield. Oh, look at that. He has Veto, too. See, this is a combo. So we're definitely going to have to stop this. Let's get rid of Veto. And... I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of Dina, too. Dina? I'm not sure. Okay, we're going to attack in with Kotis. We get a Galagreeters and a Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual is going to be really good for us because we can actually use that to... Actually, no, we can't because we were in combat, so... I am going to use Thoughtseize, though, to take a look at his hand. Wow. He's got a lot of stuff. This is a creature-based Dina deck. I'm going to get rid of the Shieldred. I will give our opponent kudos for playing a creature-based Dina deck. That's pretty rare, actually. I don't typically see that. We are going to equip the Vorpal Sword to Kotis. Go in for the attack. See if we can get something else. Wow. We're going to use the Virtue to kill Dina, and yeah, we've got a lot of removal spells. I didn't even get a chance to really fully look at all the cards we pulled, but Kotis being able to hit our opponent is just such a big deal. We basically are just turning their deck against them, and we have a negate in our hand, so if he has some sort of sacrifice card or exile effect, we can keep Kotis alive. So really good game. That was fun. For our fourth game, we are playing against Tarkir Dragonclaw. We have a Delighted Halfling in our opening hand, which is good ramp and keeps him from countering any of our stuff. He is a blue deck. We have some removal. Time Warp is huge. I like this hand a lot. The only thing it's lacking is it's a little light on lands. We don't have any blue, but I'm hoping we will get there. Put down our forest. Cast our Delighted Halfling. Surak is a 6/6 for 5 mana. Flash. We cannot counter him when he casts him. Other creature spells that he casts then can't be countered, and he gives all of his creatures trample. So I'm assuming this is a big stompy deck, a lot of big creatures, with the goal being once you get Surak onto the battlefield, it's basically impossible to counter that. Counter anything he casts. I'm gonna put down the Hedge Maze. We're gonna surveil. Swamp is good. We need as many lands as we can get right now. I'm not gonna attack because he might have flash creatures in his deck. He does. There's a Fairy Mastermind. Okay, he has a Bard class, which makes his creatures cheaper. I'm gonna go for Kotis, get him onto the battlefield. Gonna level up the enchantment. Also summoning Jarsil. What do we do here? Definitely put down the land. We want the island. I'm going to cast Time Warp. Normally I don't cast Time Warp just for ramp, but in this instance I think it's going to be worth it. We're going to put down the Urborg. We're going to cast Casualties of War, destroying Jarsil, the Bard class, and his untapped land. This is really going to set him back a lot. Yeah, there's no recovery for this. Then we're going to swing in with Kotis. If he blocks with the Fairy Mastermind, it's dead. If not, then we get to take 2 cards off the top of his deck. And with him having a Surak deck, he probably has a lot of high-level creatures that we can cast. So, Casualties of War is quite a card. Sometimes, on a rare occasion, you do use Time Warp as kind of just a ramp spell to get you to where you need to be. Rarely, but sometimes. Good game. Okay, our next game is against Braids. Mono black, my favorite color. This hand has a lot of ramp to it, so I am going to keep it. Okay. I'll put down the Underground Mortuary to scry. Command Tower is great. It's probably the last land we really need, but it's perfect. And as much as I hate giving up a Time Warp, I'm going to give up a Time Warp so that we can cast the Overlord to get some more ramp. There's a Marionette Apprentice on his side. And I'm going to summon Ashiok to get some tokens onto the battlefield. Overlord goes into Impen mode. Yeah, this is definitely a sacrifice deck. He's probably going to get out Braids, or he's going to concede. Yeah, having the Planeswalker is huge because we have blockers for his creatures. So even if he gets out Braids this turn, next turn we're summon Kotis, who's indestructible, draw an additional card. The Overlord's going to uptick, so we're already very far ahead thanks to the Chrome Mox, which is a very powerful magic card. I really recommend you put Chrome Mox in decks if you see any advantage to it at all, because the ramp you get early in the game is just so powerful. Good game. Our next game is against Muldrotha, so a graveyard deck. This is okay. This is not a bad hand. It's got some ramps, some counters. I'm going to keep this. Well, not ramp, but counter spells and some card draw, I should have said. But Muldrotha costs 6 mana, but during each of your turns you may play a land or cast a permanent spell from each type from your graveyard. So, huge, powerful card. If you can get him onto the battlefield. We do have up one of our new cards, Sasha's Bargain, for 3 mana, where you can look at the top 4 cards of your library and put 2 into our hand and the rest in the graveyard. I'm going to wait, though, to see if our opponent casts an artifact or something that we need to negate. Okay. Our opponent is not going to cast anything, so we are going to get Demonic Embrace for Kotis and Tamiyo's Safekeeping. Ooh, this is really good. I like this a lot. He could have a counter spell, though. That's the only thing that makes me hesitate. I'm going to put down a land. Put down a Chrome Mox. We will get rid of the Abrupt Decay. Do I think he has a counter spell? Yeah, I do think he has a counter spell, but I'm going to go for it anyway. And we actually got Kotis onto the battlefield. It's so tricky to know without knowing what he has in his hand. It probably would have been good to keep up green mana for Tamiyo Safekeeping. Okay, so he just cast a 5 mana spell to make us sacrifice Kotis. That's perfectly fine. Let's bring out Kotis again. I'm hoping he'll use all of his mana to cast Muldrotha, but we'll see. Nope, well, Shieldred the Apocalypse is pretty good. We're going to draw a card. Okay. I'm going to cast Demonic Embrace on Kotis, which makes him a 5/2. Let's put down a land. We're going to attack. Let's see what we get. Temporal Manipulation and Scoot Swarm is pretty amazing. I'm going to use the Prismatic Vista to get another swamp. We do need some sort of removal for Shieldred. That's my one concern that I have, because we're going to keep taking damage. But yeah, on our turn, we're going to attack with Kotis over the top. Look at 5 more cards of his deck. I guarantee we'll get something powerful. We have open counter spells, more ramp, and we have the Scoot Swarm. So we're going to have an army of bugs in no time. I think this game is pretty much over. Kotis really came through on that game strong. Casting extra turns from our opponent's deck is very satisfying. Good game. Hey, our next opponent is Falco Spara Pactweaver. I really like our opponent's name of Nyazu. We do have a lot of ramp and a counter spell in this, so I'm going to keep it. Our opponent is Falco Spara, is a 3/3 for 4 mana. And he is flying and trample, and he gets a shield counter when he is put into play. And you can look at the top card of your library. You may cast spells from the top of your library by removing a counter from a creature you control. In addition to paying their other costs, so more than likely a counter deck where you put counters on creatures. We're gonna use to get out of Lane or Elf for some ramp. Opponent gets out an Authority of the Councils. We have black market connections in our hand, so I know what I have to do. We're going to get a Watery Grave out. Love paying the life. Black market connections is such a good card. Opponent has an Autumn of Augur for land. He gets a land off the top. Prismatic Vista. We're going to go for all the modes on Black Market Connections, because I wouldn't have it any other way. Put down the Botanical Sanctum and get out Kotis, keeping up our Wash Away or Tamiyo. We are going to take some damage here, but that's okay. I'm planning on wiping the board next turn, more than likely. He's going to attack us with the Autumn and the Hopeful Initiate, which gets a +1/+1 counter. Hits us 4/4. I think he's probably going to try to cast his Commander. Swords to Plowshares on Kotis. Yeah, I can't allow that to happen, so I'm going to cast Tamiyo Safekeeping. And our opponent scoops! Yeah, so on our turn, more than likely, we're going to get out more treasure, put down a land, and cast Deadly Cover up to wipe out his army. We'll have Kotis to be able to attack. We have more ramp. We have a counter spell. So we are in pretty good shape, and we're set up to win the game in a couple turns pretty easily. Really good game. Thank you so much, my friends, for watching my video featuring Kotis, the Fangkeeper. Kotis is a really fun commander to play, and I love turning your opponent's decks against them. I would put him in the low B to high C tier. The only issue that you might have with Kotis sometimes is it's really going to depend on what kind of deck they have. A lot of the landfall decks I tend to get paired against, so sometimes you'll hit with Kotis and you'll just have nothing but their lands, which obviously you can't cast. But swinging in with Kotis and being able to cast their Time Warp or their River's Rebuke or a board wipe when Kotis is indestructible is so satisfying. I also had a lot of opponent scoop to me that I didn't even show. I included 1 or 2 games in here, but I didn't even show the amount of opponents that just quit on this. But this is a very strong and fun commander to play, and I do recommend taking him into the queue, using a build like this, maybe above an enchantment build. I think the mutate build might still be a very viable option though as well. But I do recommend giving him a shot and taking a stab at using another new commander. The deck list is in the description below. Please don't forget to like. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to leave comments as I embark in my continual journey to conquer all of YouTube through my amazing and delicious content. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.